Right, changing the needle packings in an Iwata Airgunza gun. It doesn't matter if it's the pressure version or gravity version, they're the same. Okay, so we've got the two packings from our kit. 3 packings are included in the kit. However, I think they include an extra one in case you drop them, because they are fiddly, as you'll see on this. So the packings live in this housing here. Okay, and they're designed, as you can see, for the needle to run through it into the gun, and you'll see by screwing it down it stops the paint leaking out of the gun. But okay, in that orientation with the chamfers either end, that way, okay, and then we're going to put them into the gun. It's a bit fiddly and a bit tricky, so what I tend to do is just that, shove the needle in the back end here. If I can do it, I can't really show you, but I've gone through there and I'm now into there like that. This is where it gets a bit fiddly. Okay, so I need to try and, forgive my fingers, Martin can capture this, but I then need to put that in that orientation. Once again, my needle through. I can't, yep, I'm through. Okay, so that's worked out well. Then we screw that all the way down. Okay, until we're tight. Then I'm just getting the gun spanner supplied with some of the airgun Iwata guns, but not all of them. Any spanner will do. Then we're tightening this. Okay, put some pressure on there. Should have put the spring on it, but we are tightening this so that we pull. That's a bit too tight. Pull it back just enough so that when we pull the trigger back, then the spring will allow the needle to travel back on itself. Okay, it's a bit loose. I need the spring really on the gun, but the idea is it doesn't have to be too tight. Just tight enough so it lightly grabs it, and then you can able to push the needle back. Okay, and then too tight and the needle will go back and it won't spring forward again on the spring. So just tight enough for it to go back without leaking, and that basically is it. Okay. Okay, just a follow-up video to the video we just made regarding inserting the packings, just clarifying how to tighten up the packing nuts correctly. Okay, so we've all got it installed here now, and I just roughly tightened it up. If I pull the trigger back, you'll see I've Tipp-Ex'd there onto the needle, a bit of white Tipp-Ex. So that's the needle fully back on the spring, and then fully forward in. So what I'm going to do is, that's going in and out quite nicely. So if I tighten this up, not very much because we're at that point, you'll see it's still going back. Nice, mate. A bit more. Oops, get onto it. Spanner flat. I'll get to a point where I've over tightened it. So you see the white Tipp-Ex mark is still staying stationary. That's too tight, obviously. You're going to have paint continuously coming out. So just to slacken it off a little bit, and then we're back to it moving forward. So it's just a little case of getting to the point where you feel that it's going back, and I think that's about it. So it's tight enough for the packings to grip onto the needle, so you're not going to get paint coming out, particularly on pressure versions like this, and it's still free enough to move back simply. That's all it is to adjusting the packings. It's something that you should be doing continuously with the gun. It's not something you do just when you change the packings. It's a continuous process when you're using the gun after a certain amount of time. Those packings are PTFE, they do wear, and you just have to take up the slack occasionally by adjusting that nut. Okay, I hope that explains it all fully for you. Thanks.